ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is Friday's reading lesson. Hopefully you have already watched the read aloud of The Mitten. If you haven't, I want you to stop this video and go watch the read aloud of The Mitten from the agenda. And the reason I want you to do that is because we're going to talk about the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I want to make sure that the story is fresh in your mind. So if you need to, stop this video and go watch The Mitten. All right. I'm assuming you've already watched The Mitten and you can do some writing about the beginning, the middle, and the end of that story. All right, so you're going to need your pencil and you're going to need this worksheet, the Mitten, beginning, middle, and end. Yesterday with Mrs. Glidewell, you did a stop-in sketch. So she read the story to you, you stopped every now and then, and you sketched or drew what happened at the beginning, what happened at the middle, and what happened at the end. Now we are going to write a sentence or more than one sentence if you really want to. Thinking about the mitten, what happened at the beginning of that story? What happened at the beginning? So if I remember correctly, there were two things that happened at the beginning of the story, right at the very beginning, before any of the animals crawled in the mitten. It was that Baba made Nikki Snow White mittens and that Nikki lost a Snow White mitten. Did those two things have to happen for the story to happen? Yeah. Baba had to make the mitten and Nikki had to lose the mitten. So for your beginning, you can write a sentence either saying both of those things. So saying, Baba made Nikki white mittens and he lost one. Or you could say, Nikki lost one of his white mittens. You can make the sentence however you want to say it. But I'm thinking you can do this on your own. I'm not going to write this sentence for you to copy. We've talked about the beginning, middle, and end of this book quite a few times. Don't forget that at the beginning of your sentence, you need to have a capital, and at the end of your sentence, you need to have a period. Okay? So you need to write a sentence about what happened at the beginning of the story. So go ahead and pause the video, write your beginning sentence, think about what you want to write, and then when you're done, you can play the video again and we'll talk about the middle. Okay? Okay, so you should have finished your beginning sentence and you should have talked about Nikki losing the mitten or Baba making the mitten and Nikki losing them. Somehow you had to make that into a sentence. Now let's think about the middle. What happened in the middle of the story? Well, there was all kinds of animals that crawled in to the mitten, right? There was a badger and a fox and an owl and a bear and a hedgehog. But look at how much space we have. Can we include all those names? I don't think there's enough room for that. So take a second to think. How can we make a sentence that tells what happened in the middle without including all the names of the animals? All right. So I wonder what you came up with. I wish I was there in front of you so we could talk about this. My guess is that you might have come up with something similar to all the animals went into the mitten to get warm. Or maybe your sentence says all of the animals went into the mitten. Or maybe you use the word climbed. All of the animals climbed into the mitten to get warm. You do need to write a sentence that talks about the animals going inside the mitten. Okay? So go ahead, take a few minutes to write your sentence, making sure that you're doing a capital at the beginning making sure that you have a period at the end. And then on the words that you don't know how to spell, all you need to do is write the sounds you hear. We do not expect everything to be spelled correctly, but you guys have learned a ton of sounds. So we want you to write the sounds you hear. Stretch that word out, write the sounds you hear. So go ahead and pause the video, write your sentence, and then hit play again, and we'll talk about what happened at the end. Okay, so hopefully you have a sentence written for the beginning and a sentence written for the middle. And now we're going to do a sentence for the end, and then we're all done. So what happened at the end of the story? It was the best part of the story. What happened at the end of the story? Try and put it into a sentence. Okay, so hopefully your sentence included something like, the mitten exploded, or the bear sneezed and the mitten exploded, or the mouse tickled the bear's nose and he sneezed and the mitten exploded. However you want to write your sentence, you need to determine how, or figure out how to write your sentence so it fits on the lines. Okay. So my suggestion is, unless you have small handwriting, to make your sentence a little bit shorter. So maybe something along the lines of, the bear sneezed and the mitten exploded. Okay. You want to include more information, you certainly can. If you need more room for any of your sentences, you can write on the back. But this is something that you should be able to come up with: a sentence for the beginning, a sentence for the middle, and a sentence for the end independently. Okay? Don't forget what good first grade sentences have. Right? And if you need help, if you need questions, please let us know. Otherwise, I know you guys can do this. All right. Bye, guys.